They're just running the clock at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, folks out there in YouTube land, I'm sure y'all can hear us well. Let's see. There's only about a minute left in the game. They're just kind of running the clock at this point. So I figured I'd go ahead and start on time. Let's see who all we got. And I'm sure we don't have very many people at all in the house yet.
They'll start filling in.
Yeah.
The ones that don't go to Boogie's channel.
Yeah, there's only about 9 or 10 in here right now, but the game's still going. So I almost pushed it to 3:35, but let's see. Wilmot's probably going to pop in here too.
That'd be cool. I've got about 15 minutes I can spend with you.
No problem. Like I said, you just pop in and out however you want.
All right, appreciate it. How about getting to see Nico play?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look how elusive he looks, man?
Oh, man, I know, right? He looks smooth back there in the pocket.
Yeah, we got some folks. We got Matt in here. I'm sure y'all can hear us real good. Just give me a thumbs up if you're hearing us good. I thought it was a pretty good game. I'll pull up the stats here in a minute once it's done, and we'll go through the stats. We dominated them big time.
I was mildly concerned about the first half. You know, we only had 7 points in the first quarter and had to get that touchdown before half to get to 21. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit concerned, but we'll chalk that up to first game jitters for some of them. Yeah,
I think that was part of it. And, you know, Ramel Keaton never drops a ball in his hands.
No.
I mean, he's our best hands. And he dropped the ball right in his hands for a touchdown.
One thing we definitely don't have any concerns about is our running game.
Gosh, man, we ran the ball all over them. We really ran the ball beautifully. There was a moment there where I was a little bit concerned about Joe. He had that one bad series where he did some of that stuff that he used to do. But then I thought he looked pretty good after that. You know, he started – if he will be a dual threat guy, that changes the game significantly. And he tried to run a little bit. He's not going to be Hendon Hooker. And Nico's got that elusiveness that Hendon's got. If you notice those few little plays, he does that little thing that Hendon would do where he's just got a feel.
He's got that little sidestep that Hendon had.
Yeah, he's so tall, but he doesn't play tall. You know, he moves like he's about 6'2".
Yeah.
But he's got that height.
How many people we got in here right now?
About 50, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's see. The game, I don't know if it's over yet or not. Let me check. Oh, hey, Wilmot. Let me add Wilmot to the stream. Chili.
Hey,
Chilmont. What'd you think of the game? Dude? What do we got, like 1 minute left in the game?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool.
What's up, Wilmot? Good to see you, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing wonderful.
Yeah, got Chilmont in here, got BBD in.
Good day to be a Tennessee volunteer.
You doing okay, Big Ball, Daddy?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great. It's a great day to be a Tennessee volunteer.
It is that. It is that. No question.
Here, I got Andy in here. Got Stringfield.
Hey, Andy.
Andy, are you in between shows, Andy?
Yes, I have a show here in about 10 minutes.
Are you at Dollywood?
Yes.
Okay, so you just pop in and out. We'll let you talk first, and you and BVD, y'all give your impressions because he's only got about 10 or 15 minutes too. So let's start with you, Andy. Tell us what you thought of the game so far. And, I know it's a minute left, but go ahead.
Well, a little bit of a slow start, obviously. I guess just some first game jitters and rust, but it kind of turned out the way everybody thought, I think. I thought Joe Milton played well. Just some mistakes. The receivers had a hard time getting open. Virginia was playing that soft zone most of the game. Like they were lined up 10 yards or so off the line of scrimmage. So it was hard they weren't going to let our receivers get behind them, and I don't blame them. That's a good game plan. And very impressed with the running backs. Jalen Wright, my goodness, looks so good. So good.
Yeah.
And the defense, too. Very impressed with the defense. A lot of good-looking players, linebackers. Very, very happy with the defensive performance.
Yeah, we're stacked at running back. There's no question. I think I looked at one point, and this has been a while ago. We had 230 yards rushing, and we're probably going to be close to 300 by the time the game's over.
Okay.
So that's really good.
I was hoping we'd get to about 200 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I think that's
about 231.
Yeah, we're way over 200. This guy says Joe played a solid game. You know, he had some ups and downs, but Nico, you can tell Nico, that guy moves right, man. He's just got the moves.
He's talented. He's got it.
I'm gonna pull up this right here. This will give us an update. We had 29 first downs. They had 12. Let's see. We were 5 for 13 on third down. They were 5 for 18. Our fourth downs, we were 2 for 3. We had 491 yards. They had 202. That's just total complete domination. Passing, we had 212. They have 106. Our defense played really well. We completed about almost 70% of our passes, which is, I like that.
That's awesome.
What
Rushing.
we have passing yards, Jay?
I'm sorry, say that again, BVD.
How many passing yards did we have?
We had 212.
Okay.
Now there may be a few more on top of this. This was like with a minute or two left, we ran the ball. We're at 279 yards. We ran the ball for 279 yards. They ran it for 96.
Well, Keaton dropped a 50-yarder that was right in his hands, wide open. And
our best hands guy. He's our best.
I know. That was crazy. We couldn't believe it when that happened. But I think we're in good shape at quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I know. Nico, man, that guy just looks the part.
Oh, I know. He does.
And Joe played a solid game. He could have played better at times, but I don't know. He played pretty well. I mean, it's hard to complain with almost 70% completion. I mean, here's the other thing. He ran for 2 touchdowns, by the way, which is outstanding.
Yeah.
His running game was the play that I was most impressed with. It looked like he was going to be stopped for like a 1 or no yard gain. And he puts the stiff arm out there and just drives that guy into the ground and picks up another 5 yards. To me, that was his best play of the game.
That was really good.
That was a unique play.
That was it. And
more Joe's style, though. We're not going to see the fireworks we saw last year with Hendon Hooker, and that's fine. That's okay. Joe does what he does best, and I hate to call him a game manager, but because he's more talented than that. But that's his style. It's not going to be the flash like we saw last year.
Hey, look, if we can rush for 279, 300 yards every game, we're going to be virtually unbeatable. I mean, I don't think we'll rush for 300 yards against Alabama and Georgia. No. But if we can get 200 yards rushing in those games and Ramel Keaton catches all the balls like we know he can, I think we're going to be fine.
And Dante gets comfortable with the routes and all that, and McCoy is out there, and Squirrel is good, and I definitely want to see Dante get the ball a little more. I want to see what he can do. I think maybe we could. I hope they do that. Maybe throw the ball to him a little bit against Austin Peay would be nice. See what he can do with it after he catches it. See what he can do after the catch, and then there's you got 3 running backs who could be starters on almost any SEC team. And then you've got, I can't think of the speedster name. He was in here this last series.
Cam Seldon.
Yes. I want to see that guy break one through a big hole in the offensive line and be 40 yards down the field before anybody can blink.
Hey, one thing none of us have really mentioned yet that I think is important to talk about today, our defensive line was dominant today.
Very.
I know Virginia's offensive line is patchwork and they're not great, but if we can get that kind of play and rotation out of our D-line all year, man, this team, still a year ahead of schedule, this team's looking stacked.
Did Colorado beat TCU?
Big win for Deion Sanders.
Holy crap. I cannot believe that.
Yep, big win.
I didn't think he pulled that off.
How about the Kentucky game? Anybody seen that score?
No, what the hell are they doing?
I don't know. Kentucky and Ball State, they were on the SEC network.
Well, I
Okay.
haven't watched any of it. I didn't even think of that. I figured they just whoop up on them easy.
I don't
But
think
that's-
about Kentucky that much.
I mean, I don't know how much we can tell going against Virginia, but their quarterback, that Musket kid, was good, and
Yeah.
we stifled him. And if he hadn't got hurt, their backup quarterback came in, and he obviously has some speed. He's a little guy, but we looked good against a pretty good quarterback there. Our defense looked very good, and we had it was like 7 sacks.
We had
Seven.
9 loss at one point.
Yeah, there was a bunch. Actually, let me pull it up.
Yeah,
And,
we had a bunch of sacks. Those are huge.
Let's see.
You guys remember last year we led the nation in tackles for loss last year.
Yeah.
So that could be huge again for us this year.
Okay,
Exactly.
here's the box score. Just to let everybody see this. I want to get down into the defense.
Yeah, I don't have my
See what we
glasses.
did.
Can't see anything.
Here we go. Tyler Barron had 2 sacks. James Pierce had 2 sacks.
4.
We're showing 4 sacks. Seems like we had more than 4, but we had a lot of tackles for loss too.
Maybe they're calling them tackles for loss instead of sacks, but it seemed like we had 7 or 8 TFLs and several sacks. So, which I love to see. That's a guaranteed 3 and outs or 4 and outs or whatever. And that's something we didn't get a lot of or not enough of last year.
Here's the receiving. Their Fields guy was pretty good. He had 63 yards.
Yeah.
Ramel Keaton. Can y'all see this real well? Okay. Ramel Keaton, 3 for 66. Squirrel White, 6 for 45. Here's Brew. Brew only had 2. McAllen Castles had 1. So, it wasn't a ton of receiving, but let's look at our rushing. That's what I want to see.
Guys, I got to jump off here. Thanks for letting me.
Hey, no problem.
For a minute.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for popping on. I know you got to go play some music.
Got to go entertain the good folks.
There you go.
Good to see you, Andy.
Go Vols, guys.
Go Vols.
All right. 12 carries for 115 yards. Jalen, gosh, it seems like Dylan Sampson had more than 52 yards.
Yeah, you think.
287 total.
Short right there at the goal line.
Yeah, he seemed like he played an outstanding game. Milton had 33 yards and Milton had 2 touchdowns. Well, Sampson had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this before I jump off of here. Is there anybody you were disappointed in today? And I'll go first if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right ahead.
The one guy that I expected to hear his name a lot more today was Keenan Peely. Can you see how many tackles he had? I know he had 1 early in the game.
Let me check.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I kind of expected him to dominate today.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I remember I saw him early. Let's see, defense. Let's see. Trying to find it. Where's our defensive information? Not seeing it here. This is all offense. Box score, team stats. Let me see if I can find it in here anywhere. No. Huh.
Should be in the box score.
Wait a minute. Here we go. I got it.
Yeah. There you go.
Defense, there was the 2 sacks. Let's see. Well, I say I got it. No, it doesn't show that it doesn't have their tackles and stuff, guys.
Okay.
ESPN may not have that updated yet.
Maybe not.
That's probably what it is because, we're kind of early on this.
I was actually the BBD. I was hoping to see Dante get the ball a little more. I was really curious wanting to see what he could do with the ball. We already know about Brew McCoy. We know about Squirrel. And I was really wanting to see him. I think he caught a couple of passes, but and Ramel Keaton, I mean, we have another 60 yards of offense if he catches that 1 pass. But that was right in his hands. We were all stunned when he dropped that pass because he's one of our best receivers as far as reliability in catching the ball. But I think we've got a ton of weapons on offense, guys. When we're just getting started. So
we're loaded. We're loaded with weapons for sure.
We really are.
The one guy on the offense that I wanted to see, and you mentioned him earlier, was Cam Selden.
Yes.
And me and John was talking about this on text. Maybe he's not up to par on the pass protection yet or what. But when you got 3 running backs like you got ahead of him, Shoot, he may never get in the game pop-up time.
He actually got in here in this in the fourth quarter here for several plays. I don't know how many he played because I came in here when the game was still going, but he got in there some. But it was kind of mop-up duty. But I think he's another one. He may need a year to get under his belt, but he's going to be really good too. But our running game is a major comfort, I think, because we should be able to run it against a lot of teams. And when you can do that, that opens up the passing game. That takes the pressure off of Milton. So we'll see.
I've got to jump off of here, but before I go, I want to ask you, Wilmot. John doesn't remember this, but you might remember. We're all little kids. My mom was a nurse, and she used to work with for your dad. And you guys had some kind of big party. I don't remember what the party was for, but when you lived on West Main Street, and we were all three out in the back. We were all three out in the backyard playing kickball together. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that's crazy.
That's wow. That's been a long time ago. What's that been? 40 years.
BVD. That's only 50 years ago.
Yeah,
right.
That's 50 years, isn't it?
That's awesome. That's
awesome. 49 years.
That is awesome.
That is. Yeah. That's amazing. Isn't that amazing?
You guys have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. I'm almost up here at this wedding. Like I told John, what idiot schedules a wedding on the first good college football day of the year?
The opening Saturday.
We'll be seeing you soon. I'll see you Wednesday, John. Wilmot, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man. Take care. Be safe.
Yep, you guys have a good one.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
All right, Chili Willie. We got a big game tonight, too, North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm excited about that game. That should be super fun.
That should be a very good game. And then we got LSU, Florida State ought to be a really good game, too.
When is that tomorrow or is that tonight? I cannot remember. We have a big one tomorrow, don't we? Is somebody out there?
Are they playing a Sunday game? Tell us. Is that a Sunday game? LSU, Florida State?
Isn't there a Sunday game, LSU versus FSU or something? Colorado won.
It may be.
Colorado won that game. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be going nuts in Denver.
Yeah.
They won one game last year and they just beat a Final Four team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, TCU is a far cry from what they were last year, but that's still a big win for them and a big win for Neon.
Okay. Yeah. FSU and LSU's tomorrow. Tonight is South Carolina and North Carolina, which is, I think that'll be a fun game because North Carolina's got a good offense. Their defense sucks. But their offense is good. And then South Carolina, you don't know what you're going to get. They seem like a different team the last 3 games of last year. They played real well. I mean, they did lose the Notre Dame game, but they competed. Notre Dame was no slouch.
And they beat the shit out of us. So excuse my French, but sorry about that. But that's the truth. They whooped our butts last year. And that was horrible. But, I'm kind of rooting for North Carolina in that game.
Yeah, I understand that. I haven't decided who I'm rooting for on that one. I might. I'm fine.
In a way, I kind of want. Actually, in a way, I kind of want South Carolina to win just so they're better ranked when we play them.
So you want them undefeated, really, until we meet them.
Yeah,
that'd be ideal because that helps you more than anything.
I hope we beat them like a drum in Knoxville.
It'll be tough at Neyland. It'll be tough. We'll see. I'm not 100% on Joe, but I don't feel bad about him either. I'm kind of like, he's pretty darn good. It's really tough because we're comparing him to Hendon Hooker, who was a Heisman guy. The guy almost won the Heisman. It's what's going to happen with Alabama when they play against a good team of Texas. They're going to be going, oh, Bryce Young would have done this and he would have done that. And he'd have put his cape on and flown across the field and scored.
Yeah.
And now we've got this regular guy, who's really good. So it's going to be interesting this year. And then I tell you what, you can see glimpses of Nico that he's going to be outstanding. That guy oozes talent. He just does.
He's tall and just can see the field and all that, everything you want in a quarterback.
Well, and he's got that elusive thing, that feel
Yeah.
in the pocket. Did you notice how he didn't panic? And
Yeah.
he kind of did this little move, and then he just chunk. He almost made a great pass.
It's pocket presence. He kind of feels where the pressure's coming, and he can react to it without actually seeing it.
Yeah,
that's huge.
And that ball explodes out of his hand, but with touch.
It does.
It's I'm pretty excited about him long term. You can just, and if you've ever watched any of his 7-on-7 stuff,
he's sick. I'll tell you, as far as Milton goes, with the exception of there was one series where he had a couple of bad overthrows, and which you almost expect at this point. But for the rest of the game, he was pretty much on the money, John. And
yeah, I know. Yep. He was through for 70%.
Yeah, and that was with a couple of drops. So
yeah.
And one horrible drop.
Yeah.
That was just right in the breadbasket, and the defender was 5 yards away from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was wide open, and I can't believe he missed that catch. But that'd have been like 50 yards, something like that. Probably would have been 6.
Yeah, this guy's talking about he can't pull for South Carolina. He's got holding a grudge.
Yeah,
I understand that. I'm okay either way because I like it when an SEC team beats a non-SEC team, but I don't mind it when an SEC team loses that beat us or annoys me.
Yeah, that we're going to play.
But yeah, so either way is fine. I just want to see some good football, and I think it'll be a good game. I felt like we would whoop Virginia, and we did, and I was very pleased with the defense. Very pleased that we sacked that guy 4 times.
Very good. Defense was nice to see.
Did you see Pierce? Pierce had 2 sacks in about 5 minutes. He had 2 sacks.
Yeah, it was crazy. We got to that quarterback, and that was a good quarterback. Musket is not a bad quarterback. That kid's got some wheels, and he's got an arm, and he didn't have a chance against us.
Yeah, he's got some good touch on those. They were talking about those back shoulder passes. I'll tell you what, man, he had some nice touch, and he had that good wide receiver who was strong. That guy's 6'4". He looks like he's going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, they had a couple of weapons, and but they were just really good. And I mean, they're not Alabama, they're not Georgia, of course, but probably not A&M, probably not Kentucky even. But they don't suck, and I think that was a good little test to start out with, and we answered it big time, which it makes me feel really good. But seeing Nico out there, like you said, the confidence he seems to exude, even when he doesn't, quite complete it or whatever, that kid's going to be amazing. And if we can just keep, if Joe does a great job this year, and then Nico comes in next year, holy cow! I mean,
yeah, it's looking good for us right now.
Yeah,
I love that we've got a quality backup, and I'm a big fan of Gaston Moore too. So I think we're fine there.
That's another thing.
Joe, it's hard to get upset with somebody that throws 70% and runs for 2 touchdowns. And if he will continue to run the ball, he becomes much more of a problem for other teams. Now, again, back to our defense. It was so nice to see us put pressure. I mean, we put a ton of pressure on them.
Having guys coming up the edge and getting on the quarterback and tackling him, that's so huge. We haven't had very much of that at all the last 2 years. Certainly none the year before last, and not too much last year actually. And to see our guys getting after it, and the fact that we've got, and they were talking about this before the game, John, our one of the defensive coordinators said it's really nice to have some depth, which they haven't had for, they've had to start the same 4 at D-back the entire season last year pretty much. And now we got guys can come in and spell them, and they can get some rest. Then the starters come back out, whatever. And we can substitute guys now on defense, which we couldn't the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Special teams had some boneheaded plays there at first. Of course, we had the turnover, which was very unfortunate on a nice return. Then he had 2 great returns after that. But then we also had that terrible punt. He shanked it twice.
What is the deal with that running punt, which he punted left-footed one time too?
Yeah, he's ambidextrous.
I know. He's got that ambi, but but what the heck is that though? I hate that running.
Yeah, I know.
I understand why you do it. You want to get your coverage team down the field, but I don't know. I just don't like it. It's too iffy. You know what I mean?
We wouldn't mind it so much had he not shanked 2 of them.
Well, that's true. that didn't help, but yeah, that's the a 20-yard punt and a 15-yard punt don't help. But we'll see. It should. Otherwise, special teams were pretty good.
Slim wants to know about this armadillo egg, Wilmot.
Oh, I got to do that.
Be used as a weapon. I'm sure it could be used as a weapon against Lane Kiffin. I have no doubt of that.
Yeah. Oh, I'd throw that in a heartbeat at Lane Kiffin. I'd put it in a mustard bottle and throw it at him.
Yeah. Says, I'm a little worried about Joe's play. I think I'm a little worried, but I'm not terribly concerned. You know, it was his first game of the year. He threw for 70%, ran for 2 touchdowns. He had that one real bad series. He had one bad series where he made some bad throws. But he also should have had another 70 yards on his stat line. So
he really should have, because there was some bad drops.
He made, gosh, that touchdown pass was gorgeous.
Oh, it was beautiful. There. And he totally hit him dead in stride, right in the chest. That was beautiful to see. He threw a lot of good passes. I mean, it's the first game. It's, there's tons of nerves and all that. And it's a away game, which actually technically it was probably considered a home game. I mean, did you see the crowd there? There was I don't remember seeing anything but orange in the crowd.
Gosh, it was a total home game.
Yeah.
Game. Now, it wasn't kneeling. It wasn't kneeling loud or anything.
No.
But it was totally a home game. Now, I didn't see any Virginia colors in there at all.
Very little. And it was funny. A buddy of mine texted me. I think their coach said, we gave him our best shot and we're still here or something like that at the halftime. And he said it reminded him of the Black Knight when he cut his arm off. And he said, just a flesh wound.
Merely a flesh wound.
Yeah. I was laughing my rear end off.
Yeah.
I said, your arm's off. No, it's not.
No, it's not. And he started kicking him.
Yeah. Said, no, all right, I'll do you for that.
Yeah. Few miscues, but overall, I was very, very, very pleased with the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was concerned we wouldn't get to the quarterback, which was our problem last year.
That was the bright spot of the game, John.
What's that?
I said that was the bright spot of the game was the D.
They played great.
Yeah.
We could have been a little bit of trouble in that first quarter. They could have tied it up on us.
Oh yeah. There was a point there we were up, I think it was 14, and they were looking to score there to make it 14-7, make it a game. I was like, but we stepped up, and that and the running game. The running game looked really good.
Well, they only scored. What did they score? 3 points in the first half?
Yeah.
Because it was 21-3 at first half.
Yeah. We gave them the field goal at the end, but we had all the backups in by then. But overall, I can't complain much, John. And there's a lot to be happy about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to get too upset with a what did we win 49-10?
Yeah.
Yeah, my I had us winning 41-10, and Commodore had us winning 41-7.
He was pretty close.
Yeah, Commodore was pretty confident 41-7, so he was off just a little bit, but not much.
I was going to say when you did your video the other day when you did War Games, that hurt my side.
Oh yeah, War Games. I loved that movie. Man,
that was awesome. Such a great movie. That was one of my favorites of the 80s.
It was outstanding. It was outstanding.
Yeah,
loved it. Said front seven was solid. Secondary needs to wrap up on tackles a little bit. Had a few issues there. You know, I'm gonna tell you what got us in trouble. When we scored and went up 35-3, we let up. We took the foot off the gas a little bit emotionally.
Yeah, we did.
And Virginia didn't. Virginia kicked it up a notch because they were getting humiliated.
Yeah.
And I think the coach got him in there and said, y'all are getting humiliated. Do you want to show up or what do you want to do? You want to just leave?
Yeah.
I think because I tell you what, they played hard that one series where they scored that touchdown. Man, they were coming at us.
They did.
And
they were
we were on
slashing
our heels a little bit.
Yeah, they were slashing on the running game there, and they were playing like they were PO'd, and but that's okay. I mean, I think overall it was a really good game, John, and there's a lot to take away from this that I think is really good. Again, the running game, the defense looked really good. The defensive line looked great for most of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I couldn't have been happier with the defensive line. I couldn't tell
how important is it? How important is it to have edge rushers?
Oh gosh, I know that's why.
I mean, it's the same in the NFL. Good edge rushers make as much as a left tackle does.
Yeah, they're critical. Anything that has to do with getting to the quarterback or protecting the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And we've got a bunch of edge rushers that are freshmen, true freshmen, that are going to be. And now we just got that guy from Alabama, that 5-star guy committed. Who, gosh, when's the last time we got the #1 player out of state of Alabama, Wilmot?
Oh no, took him away from Alabama and Auburn. That's just the best thing in the world.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was huge. And that Matthews kid, I mean, that's just we did good when we had the live on that. That worked out great.
Yeah, that was fun.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to light up another victory cigar here shortly.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
See, we had a ton. There was a time there where every third down they had was 3rd down and 15, 3rd down and 13.
Oh, yeah.
We wore them out.
Well, we were going hard the first half, especially the first half. It was they had no chance, and they had I keep saying this, but they had a good quarterback there. That Musket kid had an arm. He had some speed, and he couldn't smell it.
Let's see. A lot of people think, and Ryan is saying this, said Coach
Good
Hype.
to see y'all.
Said Coach Hype is being kind of vanilla.
Yeah,
and he might have been a little vanilla.
Well, there's no reason not to be, because we don't want to show Florida. We don't want to show anybody. And next week we got Austin P. That should be even easier. And we don't need to show anything to anybody right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was some of that.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, sometimes you need to get a game under your belt. That's why I was glad it wasn't, like some really dangerous team.
Oh no, Junior.
Oh no!
Don't say anything, Junior.
All right. Yeah.
Run away!
Yeah.
Run away!
Run away!
You gotta watch Junior.
Close the door on him.
Yeah. You gotta watch Junebug.
Yeah, but I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty pleased overall.
I am too.
It's hard not to be pleased. Let's see. I'm just looking to see who else has got some things in here. P to come out. I agree with this one. Says we just need to come out of Austin P with a good, healthy game. Don't get hurt and all that kind of stuff.
That's it. Yeah. I saw it was Amari Thomas. Greg was texting me about that. If we saw he went out briefly, and I don't know.
Did he ever come back in, or did he stay out?
Seemed like Tim said he thought he came back in, and if that's the case, great. I hope that's the truth. We don't know. Nobody could confirm that, but he's potentially a huge loss.
That would be bad. Yeah, I was concerned about that, but he walked off on his own power, and nobody was helping him. So I think he's okay. And then of course Barron, I was worried about him for a minute because he had 2 sacks, but he seemed perfectly fine after that.
Well, the thing is, somebody like Amari, if he broke a fingernail, you wouldn't bring him back in against Virginia.
Mark asks if UVA's offensive line is just that bad. I would say it's both. I think it's a combination of our defense line played well and their offensive line is awful.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Slim said Omari is fine. That's good to hear.
Yes, good.
And then Carl, yeah, I noticed this, Carl, that Barron went out and then he came right back in not long, and then he was all fired up.
Because I know we lost Simmons, who was one of our best D linemen in practice.
Yeah, he's going to be out, I think, until October. Is what they said.
Yeah, that's not good. So
no, and he's a big dude.
Yeah, we need to get. He's probably one of our best D linemen. We could have used him against Florida, that's for sure. But we'll get him later, and if we get him back later in the season, that's okay too.
Yeah, yeah. It is what it is, man. You're going to have injuries.
Oh, I know.
You're going to have injuries.
And we were talking about this.
Oh well, yeah. What about? Good question.
I'm not going to mention anything about any quarterbacks potentially getting injured, but at some point that's always a possibility. So we'll see.
Every team. Look what happened last year. Anybody? Let's see. Jasmine wants to know about Squirrel. I have not heard about. So anybody know anything about Squirrel? I couldn't tell what the injury was. Could y'all tell?
Yeah, he was laying flat on the sideline there. I couldn't tell if it was like a cramp or something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
He didn't look like he was favoring anything like a shoulder or knee or whatever. Just I don't know. Hopefully that's nothing bad there because Squirrel.
He might have just got popped. He's only 5'9", about 170.
Yeah, he might have got his bell rung a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah. It might have he got rocked. It's hard. Yeah. He's not very big. It's not like it's a Brew McCoy out there, 220, 230.
No.
Oh, here we go. This guy says it might have been a hip pointer. Wilmot, you know what a hip pointer? What's a hip pointer, Wilmot?
It's a hit right in your the front of your hip that hurts like and generally leaves a bruise. It depends on how bad it is, but as long as nothing's broken, it's just a bad, painful bruise. And
gotcha.
So hopefully that's all it is. Knock on wood. But
this guy says he think he got his shoulder pad to a helmet. That's certainly possible.
I hope it's not shoulder. That's worse. But
or he might have. Who knows? He
might have just got his bell rung and got knocked a little bit.
It's so easy to get hurt out there. It's
ridiculous. Those guys are. They're flying around 200-pound guys who can go 4.5s. It's like getting hit by a car.
Dude, I dropped a mattress on my foot while I was dragging it out to get rid of it. I bought a new mattress and it got caught on something and I pulled it real hard and smashed it against my toe. And my toe is underneath the nail is black now. And that was from a stupid mattress. And I was just sitting there thinking, how many players have left a practice or a game, and that's the best case scenario for them, that they've got a smashed toe.
That's it.
And people get mad that they're getting paid. I'm like, hey, man, they're getting hurt every practice. They get hurt every game. Sometimes they get badly hurt. I don't have any problem with them making money. I just don't.
No, not at all. I have no problem with that at all. They're out there sacrificing their bodies. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. TriStar. It's TriStar.
Hey, TriStar.
I should have had you on, TriStar. I should have had you on the show with us. I'll do that. I'll do that sometime. One of these reaction things. You can pop on here and give us your 2 cents on that stuff. I almost thought about that, but I was struggling with trying to figure out what time to do this show. I originally had it at 3:15. Then I had to come in here and change the thumbnail, and I had to change the StreamYard to 3:30 because they were doing all these commercials. And I think this is this my first response to a live show?
I think it's the first live response to a game.
I think it is too. Yeah, I wanted to do one. I've never done that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get a feel for it and just kind of, see what people think of it and, see if they like it. And I need more.
Well, it was if it's a televised game, it's going to be almost 4 hours.
Yeah, that's probably I'm sure that played a big role in it.
Yeah.
So next time I'll probably do something like a 3:45 or 3:40 or something. That way,
3:40. Yeah, 3:45 would have been about perfect. It was almost over then. So
yeah, and it depends too. If we lose and it's late and all that kind of stuff, and I'm furious, I might not do it at all.
You might want to skip
or
them.
if I got to work and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Carl, thank you, buddy. Vols by 50.
Yeah.
We almost won by 50. And you know what? Well, I wanted to ask y'all that. What do y'all think of the new rules of not stopping the clock after a first down? How do y'all feel about that? I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, that was weird when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know how excited I am about it, but when you're way ahead, you love it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when you're trying to catch up, it stinks.
Well, that was the thing. We were at head there at the end of the half, but we were driving.
I have your number, TriStar. Like I said, I was actually going to hit you up, but I just got busy watching the game and doing all this crap. But I will next time. I'll hit you up.
Yeah, when it was about the 2-minute warning there, wasn't it? When we were down, or a minute and a half, something like that, and we got the first down. I said, okay, time out here. We can. Well, no, the clock kept running. I said, why didn't they stop it? Oh, that's right, the new rule.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a little odd when you're used to it going the other way. But yeah, when we're way ahead, I don't mind it. If we're behind, I would be complaining.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted one more score. Here we go. Carl says he doesn't like it, just more commercials. That's definitely one of the reasons they did it.
Oh, yeah.
So they could put more commercials in there. I have no doubt of that at all. And he's right. There's going to be Slim's right. There will absolutely help. We might lose a game or two over it. It gives you less opportunities. I don't know.
It's surprising. It's about money, though. I'm shocked.
I'm sure you are shocked.
Yeah. I'm shocked and appalled.
Said I didn't really notice a big difference. It'll be rough in a lose game, and we're behind. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tracy says I'm not a big fan of. I don't understand. I just don't want the game messed with too much. That's a pretty big change, but
yeah.
You know what though? What it might lead to, since they're playing less plays a game, it might make it easier for them to add games, which is probably what's going to happen over time, because now that you're paying players and they're professional athletes now, realize the NFL has 17 games. And
yeah, they want more games. More games each. And
we're doing 13 with a bowl game.
Yeah.
There's a few teams that'll play up to 15, but I don't be surprised if they add another game at some point, because of the simple fact money. And the players aren't going to complain if they're getting more money. They're going to be like, yeah, I'll go another game as long as I get 10% more or whatever. No worries.
College football, the mother's milk of college football is money. So, and TV revenue and all that. So if they can make 1.5x versus 1x, I'll take 1.5x.
Yeah, I'll text you first, TriStar. No worries. Let's see. Said we had 86 plays. That's what they said. Said still ran 86 plays, so that's not bad.
Well, we kept the ball away from them too. That helped.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and towards the end, they just started running the ball because they kind of knew it was over. They lost their quarterback too. I didn't like seeing him get hurt.
I know. I hated to see that.
I hate that for another team, especially when the game's kind of over.
Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder, looked like, and because he was really favoring it on the sideline there, and that's bad. I was telling everybody, so oh man, I hate to see that, and because I know how much sick it would make me if it was us, and yeah, you just hate to see. And like I said, that kid was a good quarterback. He could play.
He played well, and fortunately, it was his non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah. Which is good. That helps, but he's still going to be out probably a while.
Yeah. How late, depending on how bad it is, how long will a dislocated shoulder keep you out?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a question for Docky.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Good question. How was that? That actually was a forward pass, because even though he underhanded it, he did actually, it released from his hands and went forward. And that's a play that quarterbacks like, because if it's almost like a shuttle pass.
I started saying it's like a shuttle pass.
It only went about that far forward, but that's all it has to do. If it leaves his hands, whereas if he'd have passed it, if he'd have handed it to him, that's fumble. But because he did this, he just did that little move. That's actually that's a pass, even if you do it underhanded.
Well, if it had been a foot backward, it would have been a fumble. But the fact that it was a foot forward made it a pass.
Yeah, yeah. Because as soon as I saw it, I thought it was a fumble for sure.
I did too. Yeah, everybody did.
And then
So,
they showed that replay. As soon as I saw the replay, I said, that's a forward pass.
yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. I 100% thought that was a touchdown. When I saw it in live, I didn't think for even a second that wasn't a fumble.
Oh, I know that scoop and score. That would have been a big one, big play too. That was another one that the drop pass that probably should have been a touchdown, and that scoop and score that should have been a touchdown. I mean, we potentially scored 2 more touchdowns in this game.
TriStar said we allowed under 250 yards of offense,
which I love.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of felt like going into that the defense wanted to set a tone, because they've heard all offseason that you cost us against South Carolina. You're the problem.
Yeah,
you stink. You're this. You're that. And I had a feeling they were going to show up angry, and they played angry in that they allowed 3 points in that first half, and that included a fumble that we had.
Yeah,
that could have been, bad, and then 2 shanked punts. So and us going for it on the 30-yard line didn't get it.
No.
So we gave them incredible field position 4 times.
Yeah, it was like 4th and a half or 1, wasn't it? And we didn't make it.
Yeah, which shocked me. We always make it on 4th down. We did make it 2 other times. I did love the play where they put the big guy behind Joe, and Joe did a quarterback sneak, and then the 340-pound guy got behind him and just shoved him
through. Yeah,
I love that play. I saw him in the backfield, and I said, they're not going to hand it to him. I said, I bet it's there to push.
Yeah, it was a quarterback sneak, and the fridge pushed the quarterback.
Exactly. I used to love it when the fridge would run it in or get
that was
one of my favorite things of all time.
That was the best
touchdown.
Who didn't love it? I mean, can you imagine being a Chicago Bears fan then? And it just the crowd would go berserk when he did that. Here's Mary.
Mary, what's up, girl?
Hi.
What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the game?
Tennessee fan, I tell you, Milton's accuracy is so much better. His is better.
Yeah.
They drop the passes. He is not overthrowing them. This is going to be a good season.
I think so.
Deal. Good to see you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Yep. Good deal. Yeah, it was a fun game. It was a real fun game, especially start out like that. Isn't it nice to have an offense that can score 50 points?
Yes.
Against it, it's a Power 5 team. It's not like Virginia's, Little Sisters of the Poor. I know they're not a very good ACC team, and they've been down, but they're still got Power 5 guys on that team, and we put 50 on them, no problem.
Yeah, and they're like I said, they were not a total chump. I mean, this wasn't. Now next week we're kind of having a chump there with Austin Peay.
Yeah,
but
I'm not worried about that one at all.
Yeah, but I think a lot of players need to get some playing time in that game. But then we got to go down to, and that's the season's gonna be told down in Gainesville.
Yeah, well, here's Mark Cox said he thinks we'll win, but it's not going to be easy. I 100% agree with you. It's not going to be easy. Anybody thinks we're just going to, go down there and, maybe if we had Hendon Hooker, we could win comfortably. But even with him, I'm telling you, it's just, I don't know what it is about that swamp. It's a tough place to play, and it's going to be at 7:00 at night. And that crowd, I don't care. And they're down. Believe me, the Gators are down right now. Their crowd and their fan base. It would be nice if we get about 10 or 15,000 UT fans in that place, which might happen. Might very well happen because the Florida fans are down, but the ones that show up at 7:00, those 70 or 80,000 are going to be psychopaths for that team.
That first game loss against Utah, that probably helps us a little as far as the crowd, but who knows? It may be crazy down there. It's going to be a night game, so who knows? It could be like LSU in a night game. Well, we've been down there twice, John, and of course you and I are 2-0 down there.
Yeah, I know it. That's
which
the last
is crazy.
time we won.
Yeah, we were down there in 2001 and 2003 with Junebug and our dad, and that was 2 amazing wins. Especially the first one, 01 was amazing, and that was Fulmer was still coaching, and Travis Stevens ran for I think it was 2,000 yards or something like that, and that was how many times have we talked about this? The guy behind us screaming defense for
gosh.
4 quarters.
And thank the Lord he was on our side.
I know. That's why we couldn't complain about it. But he was defense for
we
4 quarters.
We all had to put toilet paper in our ears. He was that loud. And even in the fourth quarter, he was still screaming that loud, and he never lost his voice.
He never did. And that dude, there's no way he could speak the next day. There's no way.
Absolutely not.
It was the booze that enabled him to scream that long.
We can get to that quarterback. Florida's offensive line did not look good.
And they didn't at all.
And Mertz is not Anthony Richardson. He got sacked 5 times, guys. He got sacked 5 times. So it's certainly possible that we could get to him multiple times in that game.
Yeah.
So
that's what we got to do.
Yeah, and he will hold the ball. Mertz will hold the ball and take a sack.
Yeah.
So that would be huge. The sacks are huge.
They that's going to be
momentum. They put you behind the sticks. It just causes – there's nothing worse than a sack other than a fumble when it comes to messing up your offense.
Oh, yeah. Destroys your drives, 3 and outs. And that was that today. I mean, I don't know. Officially, we had, what did you say, 3 or 4 sacks, but we had tackling guys behind the line of scrimmage like 8 times, 9 times, and which ended drives.
I definitely think that the Florida crowd will be knocking back some on Grandpa's cough medicine at 7 o'clock. So I 100% believe they will be as fortified as you could possibly be, and they will not be kind.
Yeah. I think they will be lubricated down there in Gainesville. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
Well,
what do you think, John Boy?
Yeah, they're going to be ridiculous at 7 o'clock. Yeah. It'll be something else. But there'll be a lot of UT fans down there that'll be kind of
definitely.
They'll be feeling it. Let's see. Said the Gators receivers did get open. Well, he threw for 300 yards, but that's all they did because they couldn't run the ball. If we run the ball against them and they can't, that's significant.
Yeah, would they have 13 yards of running?
13 yards, and when you throw in the sacks, which you have to do,
that's
they had 13
crazy
yards.
bad.
I've never seen a team with 13 yards ever.
It seemed like, didn't we have one year when it was? I think it was when I can't think of the coach's name now, but playing Florida one year, we had like 25 yards of rushing against them, or 30 yards rushing, or something like that, something ridiculous. And I forget when that was, but it was not Jones. It was the guy before Jones. Sorry.
Dooley.
Dooley. Seemed like a Dooley year. We had like 25 yards of rushing against them one year, and it was just horrendous.
Yeah, that Dooley was such a knucklehead.
Yeah,
God, it was terrible.
I mean, can you believe where we are now and where we were then?
I'm in shock, dude. I'm telling you, 2021 is my favorite year until 2022, as far as in the last 20 years.
I just couldn't
believe it. I just couldn't believe what this guy was doing. And Hendon Hooker was he was a magician.
Yeah, he was magic. He was probably a generational quarterback as far as his ability to see the field and see receivers.
Nico might surpass that. I just got a sneaking suspicion that guy.
I hope Joe does this year.
Well, Joe's going to be solid, I think. I think Joe's, his ceiling's not quite as high as a Nico, but I think he's going to be real solid. He knows the system real well. He's tough. We'll see how he does.
Good Lord, what an arm. He threw that one overthrow pass. That was one of the most beautiful passes I think I've ever seen. But it was just about 4 feet too high. But God, that was gorgeous. And it was I think it was like an arc of about maybe 2 feet, and it was a 35-yard pass.
Yeah. When he lets it go, it's something, no doubt.
It's beautiful. It's just if he's going to hit the guy, but he did most of the time today. And like I said, a couple of drops, a couple of good defensive plays there. There was another one. I forget who it was. He made a beautiful pass and he didn't even turn, but the defender got his arm up and managed to it hit his arm in the end zone there. I can't think of who the receiver was there, but that was another one that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it was just if it had been a 1 foot one way or the other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know if Billy Napier will make it this year or not. If he wins 3 games or 4 games, they might have to come up with $32 million, especially if he loses his recruits. But look, if he wins 6 games, he'll definitely get another year. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if he manages to make a bowl, he's gold.
If he wins 5, he'll get another year. If he gets 4, it's going to be close. If somehow he only wins 3, like that writer said the other day, then you're going to have a very difficult situation.
Yeah, you're going to have some loud screaming down there in Gainesville.
But coming up with $32 million is a lot of money.
Of course, here's the thing, and Lord, hopefully we don't save another Florida coach's job. But if he beats us, he's safe. If he doesn't win another game and beats us, he's safe.
I wouldn't say that, Wilmot. I tell you what, Florida. I've seen a Florida coach win 4 games. One of us was one of the 4, and he got fired. And he won the SEC East the year before, which was
that's right. Yeah,
McElhaney or McElwain or started with an M.
Who was Mr. Angry we saved that year at Florida when he was at Florida for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then went to.
It wasn't McElwain?
No, it was the angry guy.
Yeah. Muschamp.
Muschamp.
Yeah, he was.
We saved
angry.
his job. No, that was when he was at South Carolina, wasn't he?
Has anybody heard anything about Squirrel? I have not.
No, I wondered about that.
Oh, definitely Kiffin's watching in the wings. Tracy, you're 100% right. I've told you what I think is going to happen. If Billy Napier does not make it, I think Kiffin will be the next coach at Florida.
He'd love to be at Florida.
He'd go to Florida, and Florida would love to have him. So there's a high, but $32 million. $32
million is a lot of money. I think he gets another year regardless.
TriStar, I totally would. Let me see here. Yeah, I let's see, bring you on. Yeah, I can. You know what? Let me see what I can do here. We'll see if we can bring TriStar in here for just a minute. I'm only going to stay on just maybe 5 or 10 more minutes anyway.
Okay. I'm getting low on battery power, but I can stay just long enough here to
stay a little bit here, Chilmont. I'm going to try to bring him on and see what he has to say. Hold on. I got to go through BVD stuff here. We were texting all day back and forth during the game.
Yeah.
And it'll take me just a second here.
Yeah, BVD's a dude. He's the man.
Oh, he was all fired up. He was he got a little concerned there for a minute. And
I did, we all did there for a little while, but it was pretty much a foregone conclusion going in today. But there's always a little, you never know. But I think once these guys get into sync and Milton gets in the sync with these receivers, because it's all new this year. Milton's been around a while, but it's a new offense. It's it's new receivers. We graduated a lot of great players, so that's a new line. So it's all got to gel. It needs some time to gel, but I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm liking our chances, definitely. What do you think the odds are Kiffin winds up being the coach at Florida? What would you put the odds at?
I don't know that I wouldn't put that at 60% if what's his name gets fired.
I gotta kind of agree with you, Chilmont.
Yeah,
I think it's highly likely.
If he gets offered the job, if he gets offered the job, he's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like Junebug said, he's like a dancer who goes home with whoever puts the most money.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
you might be right.
I can't say that, but whoever flashes the most money in front of him, that's who he's going home with.
Yeah, you may be right about that.
Because he's proven that time and again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that happened. Not at all.
No.
Let's see what everybody's saying in here. We'll get a few more folks in here talking. I just sent you a text there. Send me your email there, and we'll get you on. Tracy Kiffin is shaking his. Oh, here we go. Slim said, when you say it was just a cramp, are you talking about a squirrel maybe?
That's what I was kind of hoping when he was laying on the sideline there. Briefly, I don't know how long it went. I was kind of in and out, but and then commercials. But it seemed like, wasn't it him laying on the side of the field there for just a little bit, just flat? And he wasn't fading anything. He wasn't grabbing his shoulder or anything like that.
That makes sense. If you think about it, if you have a cramp, isn't that what you would do?
Yeah, you want to try to, if you get a cramp in your calf,
yeah,
you want to drive your heel down into the ground. And that relieves some of the pressure on that, believe it or not. Because I've done that stretching in the bed in the morning.
Yeah.
You'll stretch, and all of a sudden the cramp. If it's in your calf, that whatever leg that is, take your heel and press it down on the floor as hard as you can go, and that takes some. And then you got to rub where the cramp is.
Yeah, it's possible it was a cramp. That's Slim just kind of threw that out there as a possibility.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping because he, like I said, he wasn't favoring his shoulder or his leg or something like that, or wrist or ankle or anything like that. It just looked like, he could have taken one in the bread basket. Who knows?
Yeah. It
just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah. Let's see if anybody here in the chat has heard anything at all. Oh, here we go. It says he was standing up front for the rest of the game, so it probably wasn't anything. I wouldn't think that's anything significant. Then that's a good sign.
That's good.
So
that's what these first two games. What we want is no injuries.
Yeah.
Or any game, but we don't want, especially these first two easy games.
Let's see what everybody's saying in here. I'm seeing if anybody else saw anything. Thought the same, but now I'm leading. He goes to Florida. I guess they're talking about Kiffin. Goofballs and yeah, there's definitely golf balls and mustard in Florida, no doubt. I just think he would be Steve Spurrier 2.0 is what I call him.
Oh, so, yeah.
TriStar, I sent you an invite, so we'll get you on here and then
the one good thing is if he did go to Florida, how much would you even more hate Florida?
Well, it'd be the perfect Steve Spurrier 2.0.
He'd be JR.
Yeah, it would be.
You couldn't hate him enough.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it'd be something else.
Because you and I both, we already hate Florida. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Florida's my nemesis, no doubt.
Yeah, because it's always going to be Spurrier land down there, and anyway. But if Kiffin got down there, he'd be even worse than Spurrier.
Let's see. Stingray says your predictions for next Saturday.
Oh,
I got TriStar in here. I'm going to pull TriStar in. My prediction. I think we'll whoop up obviously on them.
Okay.
TriStar, how you doing, man?
Up here in Louisville, Kentucky, currently.
Oh, are you now? Now every time I've seen you, you're usually driving a truck. Is that what you're doing?
I'm in it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
This is my kind of halfway setup. See, this is my laptop. I'm going to be doing my post game here in a little bit once you get done.
Okay.
I'm doing stuff with Mark Rogers, Voice College Football. He personally asked me himself. He said, you're the right guy to do Tennessee post games for me. I would love you to do that. I said, well, of course.
Well, give us your opinion on everything that happened today.
Real quickly, let me interrupt here real quickly. My phone is almost dead. Guys, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. TriStar, good to see you, man.
Okay, y'all head out. All right.
Good to see you.
I'll stay here.
You guys go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. See you, man.
All right.
Go ahead, TriStar. Tell me what you think.
Okay. So, anyways, the defense, as one of my good family friends who I've been friends with since I was a little kid, who's one of the main equipment managers for Tennessee football, as you know, they see what goes on out there. They can see a lot of inside stuff. And basically, he told me, I said, how you feel about the front seven? He said 2 words. I'll keep PG. He said, effing nasty. I said, really? He said, oh, yes. He said, the linebackers especially, they're just ferocious. I said, what about the secondary? He said, they feel cautiously optimistic, but it's a wait and see because a lot of young guys. Offensive line, they felt pretty good with John Campbell, and obviously he looked good out there. I said, what about with Milton and run? He said, run backs are looking really good. He felt the wide receivers were looking really good and all that stuff. Basically, just overall, just well-rounded, great team. Yeah. And from what I seen today, when they kind of came out, they came out a little sluggish, which, I mean, it's first game, at least, you're not playing a good team. So it's better to get those sluggish moments out now instead of, when you're playing Alabama. And
absolutely.
And I think, it was good that they got those out now. And, man, we just ran the ball down their throat.
Yeah.
And I seen the stat, and I couldn't believe it. I think we only gave up, I think it was 202 total yards of offense. And if you added in kick returns and punt returns, I think it's like 223.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
That's great. That made me feel very good.
The first half, I thought we dominated them on defense, totally dominated them. And I don't know how many times they had 3rd down and 13, 3rd down and 15, 3rd down and 17. Yeah, that's outstanding. I was really pleased with the defense, and the way we ran the ball on them was just beautiful.
Absolutely. And see, looking at what I seen, were there a few plays that they could have done better? Yeah, but overall, though, they played very.
Almost lost you. Oh, you had a glitch there. We lost your volume, TriStar. We may have lost TriStar. He disappeared on us. Oh, I'll give him a second here and see if he can reconnect. Oh, yeah, we lost him. That was on his end for sure because nothing was done here. That's tough when you're on the road like that too. Sometimes that happens to him. Here, he may be back. Here we go. I'll put him back in.
I got a phone call. Sorry, my guy.
That's okay. No worries.
My one of my best friends. He's a West Virginia YouTuber, Joey Foster. I'm sure you've seen him around Lou and all those guys. He was calling me. He was making sure I had my StreamYard mark all set up. I was like, yes.
Gotcha.
But anyways, back to what I was saying. I was very impressed with what I seen, and it makes me feel very good. And with how bad Florida played, I'll say this. I think Tennessee fans and Georgia fans should be taking bets on who beats Florida worse. Because Florida, I'm sure they'll win next week because they're playing McNeese State, but that's not a guarantee with how bad that offensive line is and how bad that defense looked. And we'll see with that.
What about the coaching? I mean, what in the world? You let 30 seconds go off in the third quarter. You've got 30 seconds left. You're down 3 touchdowns, and you just let the clock run to 0.
Yeah, and not only that, how do you give up a penalty on where you get the ball back on a punt and you get a penalty for 2 players having the same number?
And another part of that play that was ridiculous, the guy caught the ball on the 4-yard line, running backwards. And you're going, there's no way he was coached to do that. But yet he did it a couple of times in the game. It's like once you reach the 10-yard line, let it go.
Exactly.
Let it go.
Like there was one punt where D. Williams caught it, and I was scared to watch him catch it because he had like 5 guys around him. And I was like, just let it bounce.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of the more, I just couldn't believe it. And Billy Napier looked like he was just lackadaisical about it. He didn't seem upset. He didn't seem urgent to do anything.
I think he knows that he don't, with the schedule they got this year and next year, I think he knows he's basically a dead man walking. I think he's just like, I'm just going to just do whatever I can just to get through this year.
Yeah, I compared him to Butch Jones because Butch Jones was a great recruiter, but his on-field coaching was poor.
Well, speaking of poor old Bush Jones, did y'all see in the Oklahoma game where Arkansas State beat them 73-0? He was literally like crouched down and crying.
Oh Lord, no, I didn't see that at all.
Yes, and I'll say this too. Speaking of him, you know, out of all, I call them the Three Stooges. You know, Lane Kiffin, not really Lane Kiffin, but Derek Dooley, Bush Jones, and Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah.
Jeremy Pruitt and Derek Dooley, I actually like as human beings.
Yeah.
Whereas Bush Jones, I wouldn't use the bathroom on him if he was on fire.
TriStar, my teeth are about to float, and I'm going to end this. But tell me what you're getting ready to do your show. Tell everybody that's watching what you're getting ready to do.
Okay, so just go.
Well, actually, you know what? Continue on. Let me go to the bathroom, and you take over for just a minute.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So people watching, if you want to continue this discussion, just come to Mark Rogers' channel, The Voice of College Football, or the Voice of College Football SEC channel, or my own channel, TriStar. It's not hard to find. It's that black logo with the orange shape of Tennessee and the orange TriStar logo. I'm pretty easy to find. I'll be doing a post game on this Tennessee-Virginia game where we won 49-13. I predicted personally 49-10. I was off 3 points, so it don't matter. But that's where you can find me at. I'll be doing post games after every game. I'll try to make it where it's not interfering with Jay or talking Vols or BVD or other guys that do. I try to do it my own way, and I'll get to have people on. I'll get people on, and we'll have a great time. And like I said, once we get done here, I'll start my own stream, and we can all y'all that's on here, go subscribe to me because I'll be putting out more content. I built my audience off of Twitter, mainly doing Twitter Spaces and all that stuff. That's why I started connecting with these people and building connections with guys like Jake Crane and guys like that, people that really know their stuff, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful for that. And
I feel better.
I'm sure you do.
I was holding it there. I've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes.
I get. Trust me, I'm a truck driver, man. I get it. But like I said, I built most of my audience off of Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I got to know guys like Jake Crane, and I consider Jake Crane a friend of mine now. And I've got to talk to people. And of course, I'm not just some local yokel hillbilly from Polk County, Tennessee. I've got several family members. I unfortunately never got to go to Tennessee. Now, if they had wrestling, I probably would have went, but they don't have wrestling. But my cousin's husband, his name was Austin Sanders. He played at Tennessee from 2013 to 2016. He was the youngest commit ever in Tennessee history. That's his little claim to fame. He didn't really get to play much. He was more of a set backup guy, but again, it happens. Not everybody gets that opportunity, but he was just glad he got to wear, Tennessee orange and run to the power tee and all that stuff because it's what he always wanted to do. And now he's got a great career selling medical equipment, so he's doing fine for himself. My cousin played baseball at Tennessee for about a year. At the same time, he transferred to Middle Tennessee State. I've got about 3 cousins currently enrolled at Tennessee. They're not playing sports; they're just going to school there.
Yeah, they had wrestling when I was there, and then they ended it. I don't know if they brought it back yet or not.
I think it has something to do with Title IX because I think you had to have female wrestling too. I think
that might have been that whole. Was it called Title VII or something? But might have been.
It was back in the 80s, I think.
Yeah, that's when I was there. I was there from 85 to 89, and I was on the golf team. Not football. Obviously, I don't look like a football player, but anyway, they had wrestling when I started for a year or two, and then they ended it. Yeah, and I couldn't figure out why. So you might be correct as to why that happened. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad you popped on. Next time I have, I'll definitely hit you up. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. Now I got your number. I got you saved, and I might even have you on my thing sometimes.
I'd be glad to come on.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
As always, F the tater man, mimic the gimmick.
See you now. All right, folks, appreciate you coming and watching the show. I'm very pleased with the win, and look forward to next week's game. I think we'll, iron out some more bugs before we go down there and play those Gators, and then the season will really get rocking. But anyway, thanks for coming in here and watching a few things with us, and we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.